Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, Evan Teague, and with me like always is the man who has put up with me for going on 5 years now, Noah Bailey.
Woo!
So happy New Year's, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of season 5 of this stupid podcast we've been doing. And yeah, to commemorate the new year, the new season, it's been a tradition now that at least pretty much every year we've been the first episode we look into the future for what we believe to be the top 10 or so most anticipated things of the year ahead. So you have a list, I have a list. I have a feeling some of them are going to overlap a little bit, but it's just a very, very fun thing, just kind of see what we have to look forward to this year. Do you want to kick us off with your 10th most anticipated thing? And this can be movies, games, ideas, shows, yeah, just whatever.
Yeah, just concepts. Whatever. I mean, last year was like going back outside. So
kick us off with your number 10 most anticipated thing of 2022.
All right, you want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay, so for number 10, I have the Batman, because I have been skeptical, to say the least, about this. Not in a bad way, because it's like, well, okay, kind of a bad way, but like it's weird because like we talk about, like, everyone's like, oh, this is amazing, this is great, and I'm kind of like, yeah, it's all right. Like, it doesn't sell me as like this like mind-boggling great thing. It's not bad, but I feel like because everyone's so excited about it, I'm kind of like, am I missing something? Am I not watching what they're seeing? Like, is it, you know, kind of like with the Star Wars movies, how everyone like loves one thing but hates something else, and I kind of got the opposite vibe. It's kind of like,
yes, like it is so weird that like this idea that the Batman is going to be the greatest, the greatest movie ever, the best comic book movie ever, the highest grossing comic book movie ever, has kind of like
no chance
infected this weird pocket of Twitter. Under every single like thing I read about how well Spider-Man No Way Home is doing, there's at least one comment that's like the Batman is going to blow that out of the water. Like, okay, buddy. First, I don't doubt that the Batman will do well at the box office. However, not like this is the final movie in a trilogy of Spider-Man movies that is a part of the MCU, the highest grossing media movie franchise of all time, if you consider like the MCU as one movie franchise, that came out a week before Christmas, the prime time, as like is either then or like end of May, or like the two like prime time for movies. The Batman is the first in a series, hopefully potentially series of Batman movies directed by Matt Reeves, who is one of who made the Planet of the Apes trilogies, who people consider to be one of the best trilogies of all time. I haven't seen it, but apparently they're very good. I'm not taking that away from him, but it's also coming out in the beginning of March, which like movies can do well. Captain Marvel came out then, but I don't see this movie destroying No Way Home. I have no doubt it'll be good. But yeah, this weird idea that it is the trailers just don't show me what these other people are seeing. And it's weird. I'm excited, but not to the extent they are, and it's kind of weird.
It's that DC fanboy syndrome. It's kind of getting toxic. It's kind of like anything with like a DC character on it is like the greatest thing ever made, no matter what. And it's like, I understand this is Batman, and don't get me wrong, like I love me some Batman, but also like, let's be reasonable here. Like, let's figure this out. Let's see how this goes. This is the first, this is a new entry in Batman in general. A new Batman, all new characters. We'll see how it goes. And like the trailers again didn't blow me away. Weren't bad by any means, but didn't like wow. There are a couple scenes where I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. But it's not like like losing my mind, throwing my phone across the room like I was doing for the Spider-Man trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, anything's possible, but let's not let's not crown this thing anytime soon. I mean, let's figure it out first. But
and like in a way, I think that would be that's kind of the ideal for a Batman movie, for it to be more grounded and like not. Not expecting that kind of spectacle from a Batman project, but it's just very weird seeing the trailers that I believe are good. They are getting me excited for this, for this Batman movie, my favorite superhero. But I just can't get as excited as other people are because like Robert Pattinson hasn't shown that he's not, we haven't really seen much of him yet, but like he could be really great. He could end up being terrible. We don't know yet. Zoe Kravitz looks pretty good as Catwoman, but like, maybe her lines are weird. Like the Riddler might not be as compelling of a villain as we think he could be, although he has potential to be a very strong villain. Like there's so many unknowns about this brand new foray into the Batman saga that I just can't get attached to it yet. Once this movie comes out and it is good and the sequel is announced and comes out, then I could understand getting this hype. But the first one, I don't see it to the degree other people are. Excited, but not to that excited. Yes.
Yeah, just kind of, and I think that's the overexcitement that's kind of making me skeptical because it's like, all right, if everyone's saying like this is amazing, so I'm afraid that if it is like the movie does come out, everyone praises it as a great thing, and I'm kind of just like, nah. And it's like, oh, I don't know. It's like I don't know. I've seen what makes you cheer, so I'm not really impressed. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But could be better, could be worse. We'll see what happens.
Yep. So my number 10 is the first and only like concept thing on my list.
Okay.
My number 10 is just the ability to watch Spider-Man movies on Disney Plus. Because I've been in such a Spider-Man kick lately, and I've been watching through several different Spider-Man cartoons. I watched Into the Spider-Verse again on Netflix, and I would have loved to rewatch the Sam Raimi trilogy again. I haven't like watched through all three of them in at least 3-4 years, but they're not available on anything I have because I'm not getting the Stars Network. I'm not getting whatever else. I'm not paying for them on YouTube or Amazon Prime. But assuming no news is good news on that deal that Sony and Disney have, hopefully by the end of June, at least all of the Tom Holland movies will be on there, and I think they also said that other past Spider-Man movies will also be on there, especially since they're like kind of technically MCU multiverse canon.
They are now, kind of, yeah.
Kind of. So
like
it's just
because what happened in their movies definitely carried over. So like, yeah, I guess it is. I mean, well, yeah,
but everyone in the world forgot the events of that movie even really happened, kind of.
But that doesn't mean they didn't happen.
Yes, but like essentially, as far as the rest of the MCU is concerned, they don't matter. But to Spider-Man, they definitely do.
Yes.
But I don't know if it'll be relevant in the future. But regardless, they're good movies, so we should be able to view them easily on the service that it makes most sense for them to be on.
Yes. And no, it's what my brother was complaining because he hadn't seen either Far From Home or No Way Home, so he was kind of completely, because I only have Homecoming like personally, so I was kind of like I don't really, because it's like you have to actually get them on like Amazon Prime or something, and it's like
Hmm.
But
Yeah, just being able to watch any and all Spider-Man content whenever you want, all in one service. It's just going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and again, like that's something that should, be already a thing, but it's okay. We'll get it later. Like, as long as we eventually figure it out, like that'll be what's important. But it's like, because again, especially with like the end of the trilogy, I think it's definitely a good time to like bring it home. It's like, we got it.
Right. So yeah, you're number 9.
Number 9, I have Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So this I would have higher if for various reasons. There's a lot of uncertainty with this movie, so it kind of makes me have it lower just because we don't know what we're really gonna get. And to be honest, I don't think they know either.
Rumors are they're still finalizing the script, kind of, even though filming has already started, which isn't the best sign.
No.
Like I don't want to put this movie even in the same sentence as this movie I'm going to put in the same sentence as in a second, but like Rise of Skywalker had the same issues where like they were literally feeding Adam Driver lines like as he was saying them. Like, which are never great. Like writing them like the night before you're going to shoot them, which isn't ideal. And it kind of seems like they're just flying by the seat of their pants to make this movie. Which I understand completely.
Well, yeah, all things considered, but still, it's like I would rather them kind of go back, which is I'm kind of surprised. This is one of those movies that they kind of threw back further when things kind of get reshuffled with COVID stuff, because it's like, you kind of have to, start from scratch in a way. Like you have to kind of, obviously, something's got to fulfill, you know what I mean? The loss of Chadwick Boseman. So you have to do something, whether that's, whether it's, Shuri, or I've heard, they might make Winston Duke M'Baku, like he might be the main focus. I heard, like, I know there's some like, some real world stuff with Letitia Wright that's not great. So, you know what I mean? Like
not only did she like get injured on set, she also has some views that aren't ideal, but like, or rumored or whatever, but like
still. I don't know, some like social media, like a lot of non-character things going on, which is, it's already hard enough trying to make this without obviously your main character being available. So it's like a lot of X factors and things like that. So it's like, okay, what are they gonna do here? And it's also, it's worrisome because it's like, I don't want them to like you said, like they're like, I don't want this to bomb because they're just kind of writing it as they go, and then it kind of just what, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like it wouldn't be in the same way as Rise of Skywalker in terms of, as Star Wars fans, we can kind of hit that like that's not how the Force works. You know what I mean? Kind of like. But I feel like Black Panther and like Wakanda as a whole is still kind of enough of a uncommon commodity that you can get away with a little, a little stretching. Now, I don't think there won't be eyebrow raises, but I don't think anyone's going to be like, that's completely false. This is you know what I mean? There's a little more leeway with that. But it still causes concern because it's like, like how is this gonna go? Who will they focus on? Are they still gonna incorporate other things like it was rumored to a while ago? Like, are they just gonna have to completely scrap a like giant MCU world building movement because of what's going on and just focus on reestablishing another character? Like, there's so many question marks.
Because I think Marvel, I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Feige wants to like shelve this movie until they can get it perfect, but there's probably several things that are going to happen in this movie that are quintessential going forward. Like, we know for a fact Namor is going to be in this movie in some capacity, whether he's going to be the villain or like anti-hero or
like
something. He's got to be in the movie somewhere. And whether that's a connection to mutants going forward, since he's technically a mutant, whatever, or whether they're gonna do a Namor show or him showing up in future Avengers stuff, or there were rumors of Doctor Doom showing up in some capacity. I don't know how valid those are now, but like there is clearly something about this movie that Kevin Feige needs to happen in this movie, that they need to get it out this year, or else things
I agree.
get messed up.
I agree.
And that has potential to be really cool if they can make it work. As long as they can just get the right main character down, whether it be, even like it just make, Okoye the main character, or the girlfriend character. I remember her name from the first one.
Oh,
like
Nakia.
Yeah, like make her Black Panther. It doesn't. I mean, theoretically, it shouldn't matter as much as it does, but because of just the circumstances of it, you want to get it as right as humanly possible. So I understand the challenges that they're going through, but
yeah,
I am still excited. But there is so much uncertainty that it's a little hard to get like as excited as I usually am for MCU projects.
Yeah, it's just the uncertainty, because I mean, from all the rumors there's rumors that they're gonna bring back Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger's character. He can and somehow he's gonna what I mean, like there's everything in the book, and it's kind of like
especially since What If doubled down at him just being the worst.
Right. And it's kind of like it's like this thing where it's like I feel like people are trying to look at just the actors and not how the character works, because it's like, yeah, Michael B. Jordan's an excellent actor, but that doesn't just mean, oh yeah, we can just throw him back in just because. And it's like, hey, let's make it a little, keep the characters in the way. But again, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, these are unprecedented matters as far as I can think of. So, because I mean, like I've heard of like TV shows when like a character dies or isn't available or whatever, and they have to either like depending on the character, they'll either recast, or like the character's just written off and like, oh, they're not around anymore or something. So but this, with it being the star, it's kind of like, oh man, this is kind of unprecedented, I guess.
Yeah, like I'm sure in Kevin Feige's 25-year plan, he eventually wanted Shuri or someone else to become Black Panther eventually, but I think he didn't want that to happen yet, but it kind of has to.
Right.
Yeah, which is what it is.
We'll see.
So my number 9 is also the Batman.
Okay.
Yeah, we pretty much said everything I had to say up front. Like, I am very excited for this movie. I'm always excited for new Batman projects of any kind. The trailers look good. I need to actually watch the movie to fully be like, this makes sense. If I come out of the movie and are like, okay, that was actually very good. I don't know what could change my opinion to be like that of the ultra fanboys on Twitter, but I am going at this movie assuming it's going to be a very solid, strong Batman outing. And if it's more than that, great. If it's less than that, that's disappointing. But like, I'm not expecting it to be the best movie ever. Therefore, if it is a little under expectations, I'm not going to be super disappointed. But if it is, have a little room to improve, if it is better than what I'm expecting, fantastic.
Right. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, this is the first like iteration of this Batman. So of course you have to like, be a little open-minded, of course, because everyone was always, I always go back to the like, Christian Bale will never be a good Batman, and it's like, so like, and like, it's one of those things where you want, you want to be open-minded, you want to see where it goes. But again, I'm not going to overcorrect and just absolutely crown it as, the greatest Batman thing ever made before I even see it. So let's
Yeah.
let's walk first, all right? But
Mhm.
I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
have to
I'm
see.
sure it's going to be at least a pretty good movie. Um, I don't know if it'll necessarily have any like implications in the greater DC universe going forward, or if where Flashpoint will just like pretend it doesn't exist, or if it'll just be like, oh yeah, it's just one of the Batman that we're running with going forward. I don't know, but regardless, I have high hopes for Robert Pattinson's Batman. I have high hopes that the movie will be good. I'm just not expecting it to be, you know, the best thing ever, or even like I was asking you to be like a B tier Marvel level, which is all it needs to be. If it's better than that, great.
Not oh well. Like
Well,
and again, I think it definitely can be. And again, I don't want to go at this like I'm hating on this movie and everyone's like,
no,
no, like
just being
no.
realistic about it.
Right. All right. I said cautiously optimistic is what I like to say. Because it's like,
Because like imagine the people on Twitter right now, again, who are incessively under every single Spider-Man update thing, being like, the Batman will blow this movie out of the water. Like the Batman will make whatever Spider-Man does in 2 days, or however, whatever hyperbole they say. Imagining those people, it making a very modest like 800 million in March, which is a lot, for March, but also pandemic times, like a very good solid number for the first in an unproven Batman franchise. And these people, I don't know how they could spin that to say we were right when they're trying to say it's going to be better than a $1.3 billion in 2-week movie. Like,
the movie's doing so well.
yeah, like last I checked, it was 1.3, could be 1.4 now. Like, it is crazy.
I think I saw it was
like
number, I think it's 12 or 11 highest grossing all time right now. So
without China, without some other territories too.
Right, that's what I was
crazy.
thinking. I was like, yo, that Disney still hasn't China yet. So like,
it's still tracking like a new movie. Like it made over 12 million on New Year's Day. Like that's crazy.
I mean, but like, yeah, though, like like it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It just, oh my gosh, like it's so wild because like it just kind of keeps going and like it deserves it. Like again, the hype was this was gonna be one of the best movies, Marvel movies especially, ever. It was like it's like Infinity War and Endgame, but like Spider-Man has potential to be right there. And we were like, yeah, don't quote us on that, but like, there's a good chance. Then
if it weren't COVID times, $2 billion is lock. $2 billion is a lock. If it weren't COVID times, it even could still get there.
That's what I'm saying.
Even in this time.
I mean, without COVID, this could. I mean, I don't know if it could. I mean, it would have beat Infinity War. But I don't know if it would have beat Endgame. But
yeah, because the new one was like 2.2 or something.
Yeah, it was like two, like I think it was 2.4 or something like that. I think.
Yeah, something, but like low 2 billion, which I don't even know what 2 billion looks like.
I don't know what 2 million looks like. I mean, let's be honest. Never seen that much money, but
yeah, like No Way Home is one of the very, very few movies where I had stupid high expectations and they were met.
Yes.
So I don't want to go into the Batman expect me to love it as much as a movie that is basically nothing but nostalgia bait, but doing it well. It's and expect it to be that good or that specifically tailored to me liking it, and get my hopes so high that it ended up being that was good. It was fine.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. I don't want to. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm expecting to go and be like, oh, I liked it. Like I'm not expecting to be like, this is great, but like I'm not gonna like. Don't expect the greatest thing you've ever seen again on an unproven commodity. Because I mean, even this, like you said, this was the third Spider-Man movie in the MCU, and like it was gonna be good anyway. But because they're doing the ultimate nostalgia trip, and because they're bringing all the stuff in that you also love, it's like, okay, so this has potential not to just be good, not great, but epic. And it's like, yes, correct. It was epic.
It was.
So like, but that's what I'm saying. Don't put that. You don't just give anything that like expectation. I mean, you have to earn it. And I feel like this movie hasn't, because it's not really possible to earn that out the box. Like I feel like that has to be earned over the course of at least another movie.
Yes. So I think putting it at number 9 is around there is the right place to be excited for. Like plenty of room for improvement, but like if it doesn't blow me out of the water, like I had an expectation measured, I'm good. So
Yeah.
excited, but there's still plenty of things that I'm more excited for than it.
Yeah. There's a lot coming in this year. So like,
yes.
you gotta be, because you gotta make room.
So,
you gotta make room.
Yeah. Speaking of which, number 8.
Number 8, I have the new Suicide Squad game, Kill the Justice League. Now, again, we've got Rocksteady coming back. We've got, again, a new concept, which again, I'm like, okay, let's see. This is different, But again, trailers look good. We see gameplay. I like said gameplay. I like character designs. I like how, like, I remember we were talking about how the characters, not only do they look like they played it, but they even like have their individual movements, that it feels like an entirely different character. And one of my trademarks for a character is always like when playing a video game, whenever it's like Batman, or especially with the Spider-Man games, it's like you feel like you're Spider-Man or you're Batman. And in this movie, I want to be. Do I feel like I'm playing as Harley Quinn or as Deadshot or as King Shark, or like, you know what I mean? So that's a big hit to me. Like that's really exciting, because having that level of just kind of immersibility into a character with multiple avenues, that's big stuff. Because I mean, other games haven't really been able to handle that really a lot. So if they can really pull this off, which again, if there's anyone who can do it, I trust Rocksteady for sure. But because I mean, even in their like little instances of like, multi-combat with like, double, like not like co-op, but like different characters in like the Arkham games with like Robin or Nightwing or Catwoman, it's like they definitely had their differences, but it was also kind of similar. So we'll see how they decide to vary it up. But again, I'm excited. It looks good. The story, we'll see. It looks like it could be interesting, or it could be very blah. It really kind of just depends. But I really liked what I saw, especially from Flash in that like recent trailer. So I'm like, okay, this could work. I feel like they're really getting the essence of the characters in a likable way, and I think that's going to be great.
I still need to be sold as to why Amanda Waller is getting the Suicide Squad to take out the Justice League. I still need context for that. But that's a fun concept, so who cares? Right. And especially after watching James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, like just playing as King Shark just sounds like a lot of fun.
Right.
Because Rocksteady perfected combat in video games. Like I don't think that's a bold statement, but even with Batman, I always had like a little bit of that like suspension of disbelief to be like, I know it's a video game, I know it's comic books, but like, there are sometimes Batman just gets like beat up and shot at and just like things that he should not live from. In this game, and I get it's a game, it's a comic, whatever, but like when you're playing as King Shark and you're running through enemies, leaping and just taking hits as a tank, like yeah, King Shark can take that. I'm not going to feel weird about him getting blown up and being fine. So in any game like that, like a team-based shooter or like an Overwatch style thing or stuff like this where I can play as the brute. I usually like playing as the brute because I just like the feeling of taking hits and just might not being the fastest character, but being able to take hits and just amount just as much as just a lot of fun. And King Shark, I think, was the right pick for that. Yeah. However, I assume you're gonna try to get a PS5 before this game comes
I'm thinking of it. I am thinking of it. And that's the thing I kind of realized with the thing. I was like, that's right. That's the only thing. Because, like, again, my thing with the PS5, again, not to get too tangenty, but it's like, I don't really, A, it's still hard to get one. B, I don't really need it yet. Like, there's really, as these games, I feel like until next year, as in 2023, is going to be the first year where I'm like, okay, maybe I could use one. But it's like, for now, yes, they have a few new games coming out, but it's not enough to go get a super highly touted out system that's going to be probably going to have to overpay for, or like something crazy and not, you know what I mean? Especially when, right now, I'm only going to be playing my PS4 games on it anyway. So I can just do that on my PlayStation 4. So it kind of feels, plus we just got a new Switch. So it's like, I think that's going to be a plenty to deal with for now. So
yeah, plus all the big Sony games right now are also coming to PS4. Like the best version of God of War Ragnarok is going to be on PS5, but that's perfectly playable on the PS4. Same with stuff like Miles Morales or like Gran Turismo, Horizon Forbidden West. Like these games that you potentially could want to play are also on PS4.
Right, exactly. So it doesn't really, the need of the PS5 doesn't feel urgent yet. And I know they're
once that Wolverine game comes out, that is when you have to get one.
Well, that's because it's not that Wolverine and that Spider-Man 2 like trailer sold me on the spot. So I mean, that's why I'm saying like 2023 is probably when I'm gonna need to like, okay, maybe I should jump on this PS3 bandwagon, but or not PS3, goodness gracious, PS5 bandwagon. But until then, I don't feel super, you know what I mean? I don't feel super, like I don't feel obligated by any means.
But even if you don't have one, but when the time Suicide Squad comes out, I'm sure you'll still find ways to either watch people play it or play it at friends' houses or something.
It'll probably be one of my Let's Play games where I just watch someone else play it, just no commentary, and just go for it.
Yeah, just have a controller in your hand, pretending like you're playing it.
I could have swore I hit the jump button there. Love it.
So my number 8 is Moon Knight on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Moon Knight is a character that I have been jokingly championing for the past 4 years. You will all learn. You will all learn how cool this character. The funny part is, I haven't read a single page of a Moon Knight comic, but I know this guy is one you'll need to watch out for, because like, Oscar Isaac, he's great. 2, he's like basically like not a parody, but like he's essentially the Marvel Batman, where like he mainly works at night and like has like the cowl, like everything, but his power is depending on the phase of the moon, that determines how powerful he is. So like if it's a full moon, he is like stronger than Captain America. If it's no moon, he sucks. And I don't know if they're gonna go into this in the show, but I know in the comics he has like a multiple personality thing, where I think it also like determines by the phase of the moon, like it's like essentially like vastly different like personalities depending on that, but it could just be very interesting to watch. Also just vampire hunters, that's always a fun concept, and there's rumors that both Blade and what's his face from the end of the Eternals is gonna be cameo in this. So that's cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Like at the end of this, Blade and Moon Knight are like, hey, let's go form the Midnight Suns or whatever. I think that's it. I think that's their little
something like that.
And them two, Punisher and Ghost Rider, I think is like the Midnight Suns, or that what it's called? Whatever. They have some little group that they have that it's like, yes. Which again, I will reiterate. Someone get Keanu Reeves to play Ghost Rider. He's perfect for it. I know he wants to do it. He hasn't said he wants to do it, but I know he wants to do it. We want him to do it.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yeah. Like I said, we already have Blade. We already have Moon Knight. We just need a good Ghost Rider. He is that. We already have a good Punisher, obviously from the TV show. Get him in there. That's your team. Go.
He's so good. Just Keanu Reeves just needs to be in everything. Like one character in just everything should be Keanu Reeves. It doesn't have to be a big character, but something.
Yep. And I think, there's some show for Hulu that he's starring in, which likes to be his first ever TV role. He's never actually done like a TV show before. He's only ever done the movie, like only ever been a movie actor. So he's at least started at, I think he's 56 years old. So at 56, finally starting doing TV or show stuff. So if Kevin Feige sees that and be like, hey, now that we don't have any ideas for a Ghost Rider solo movie, but if we were to give a Ghost Rider show or a Midnight Suns show or movie, you could just get him over there, throw him in that perfect role. Just do it. Yeah. But
I mean, you'll make something if it's important. You'll make it for him. Make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Moon Knight, I think, is just going to be, I have no doubts in my mind that it's going to be just a very, very solid show.
Yeah, no, Oscar Isaac's a phenomenal actor. I love pretty much everything he's in, whether or not it's his fault or not. But, but you do what you got to do. But we think
and the costume looks fantastic. Like I said, it's very Batman-esque, but white. So it is like a very like kind of different spin on it. Like instead of being like, using the shadows to your advantage, he like intentionally like stands out as like kind of like a Phantom of the Night, I think is this thing. So like
that's kind of cool.
And he has gadgets for days. And It's
is he some kind of
it's
like?
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Is he like a rich isn't it like some kind of like I know is there like a nobleman or something or like that or is he just some rich guy or like?
I think he's like a descendant of fast vampire hunters or something.
Okay, who knows?
I haven't actually read any Moon Knight comics. I just have like studied his Wikipedia page enough to know I love this guy.
You got through it. You're like, you know what? That's enough. Like, I'm sold.
Yes.
No, that's good.
So, yeah, I think it's coming out either September, October, somewhere in there. It's gonna be good. Yeah. Number 7.
Do you actually mind if I take a second?
And we're back. Go.
Okay, so for number 7, I have my other video game on the list, Gotham Knights, because I like Batman characters. And
question. Real quick, do you only have Gotham Knights higher because you actually have a PS4?
As one of yes. Well, yeah, because one, I'm probably gonna get this game on the day it comes out. And B, I also just prefer, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of the Suicide Squad playing as them and then fighting the Justice League. But also, I love the Bat Family. I love the idea of a Bat Family game. And just this is one of those things I've been waiting for since ever. So it's time. And and there's actually Tim Drake and actually really, and I'm like, oh, cool. They actually did this character. They didn't skip this one this time. I will die on the hill that Tim Drake is the most neglected Robin because he's my favorite and everyone seems to forget about him, but it's okay because that's me, but it's fine. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I know it's WB Montreal, not Rocksteady, but still it has a lot of inspired elements from the Arkham games originally. So I feel good about it. I think the idea with the Court of Owls is really interesting because I'm not sure exactly how that's going to tie in, but it's going to be some type of cryptic secret society stuff per use, and that's going to be great. And just any other potential, who knows what going on.
Yeah. Yeah, like I personally don't see that. I don't personally understand the hate that Arkham Origins gets. I outside of the fact that it's called Arkham Origins, yet it takes place in his second year of being Batman, so it's not even the origins of him becoming Batman. It's just like earlier in the timeline, but whatever. But like the combat of that game is still very, very solid. Like it's basically rock steady, but like yeah, it's like it's the same basic combat structure, which seems to be carrying over into this game. The voices aren't all the same as they were. Like it's not Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, but like they got very good voice matches, I thought. And just just that game, I feel like gets so much flack for kind of no reason. And I have no doubt that the people that made that game can also make a very good, make a very good, essentially follow up to Arkham Knight, but not actually set in the Arkham universe, kind of.
Yeah,
which is a choice.
Yeah, that part's a little bit weird for me. I don't know if that was like they had to do it that way for some reason, because I feel like maybe there was some kind of barrier that wouldn't allow them to like you go to a direct spin-off. Maybe they had to like make their, it's their own story, but it's kind of also set at a time that could easily jump in right there. But also, yeah, I mean, but it also has, I mean, it looks like it's going to have its own little spin on it. But again, I think one of the main reasons Arkham Origins gets so much flack is because, like, yeah, like you said, the voice acting's not the same because I don't think Kevin Conroy's in the act or Origins either. And then also, it's like, I will say, not to spoil the game for anyone who hasn't played it, but like the whole thing where like you find out halfway through the game it's actually Joker again is kind of annoying because it did not need to be at all.
Yeah, I don't mind the Joker being in it, but Black Mask is such a cool villain in a franchise. I don't know if this game hadn't come out yet, but in a franchise where Scarecrow can carry a game as the main villain,
right?
Black Mask totally can. And like he almost does, but then it's actually just Joker is weird. Like Joker could be involved, but he didn't need to be the final boss.
Right, he didn't have to be Black Mask in disguise. That was kind of like if the Joker was just kind of around and was like, hey, you're putting a bounty on Batman, I want to kill Batman and I'll do it for free, like that would have been perfect, I think. But instead of it making this whole like, oh, I actually killed Black Mask this while ago and been pretending to be him this whole time, it's kind of like okay, I guess, but I feel like that was really unnecessary. But like
but like once it does become the Joker story, it is a very good Joker story. I don't like, but essentially there's like a little hump where like, oh, it's actually him. Okay, now you're enjoying it again. There's like where it's Black Mask and all of his hired guns. And there's a little bit where you're just confused and kind of upset, and then it's back to being a good game.
Yeah. And the concept is awesome too. Which what was it, like 11 assassins are trying to kill Batman or something?
It was a very high number. Yeah,
it was a lot. Like it was like everyone from like Destro, like Copperhead, Electrocution. There's like, you know what I mean? There's some dumpster divers in there too. You're like, okay, let's go. Like,
yeah, yeah. Like, I know I've said this before, but Batman, Bruce Wayne is 100% a talent. Like, I would bet all the money in my bank account that he is one of one of the like main talents you fight throughout the game.
It's probably gonna be one that like follows you around or like you fight periodically during the game. Like, he knows our every move. How is this possible? We were taught by the best. It's Bruce. Who could have ever seen that coming except everyone who
Mm,
has a brain? It's like the
yep.
Arkham Knight thing all over again. How does he
Okay, I
know?
have a locked and loaded rant for the Arkham Knight. Not to tangent, but just like this needs to come out. Okay. In the mythos of the Batman Arkham universe,
Okay.
Red Hood hadn't happened yet. So to put a spin on it, they did Red Hood, but just called him something completely different. And in all the marketing and all the interviews, they were like, this is a unique, completely made up character, completely unique to the Arkham universe.
Yes.
This is not going to go the way you think. And from the jump, he's like, "Oh yeah, I know that you have armor plating on your bat signal on your chest, but your ribs are less are more exposed. So he shoots them there instead." It's like, how did he know that? Like, it's obviously it's like it's not even subtle in that game that they're just doing Red Hood but calling them something different.
Yeah.
They could have just done Red Hood. We wouldn't have been nearly as upset that it was just
Nope.
Red Hood if you just done Red Hood, call the game something else. Like, it didn't need to be Arkham Knight, especially since they only called the game Arkham Knight because they made the character who could have been Red Hood, they just called him Arkham Knight, but even that name doesn't even really make sense.
You still could have called the game Arkham Knight anyway, and we would have just assumed it was just a third name. Like, you didn't even have to call
like
anyone
Batman just
Arkham
like
Knight.
is the Arkham Knight. He's already the Dark Knight, so he's
exactly
Arkham Knight.
It would
Sure.
have made perfect sense. Yeah, he's the Arkham Knight because it's the Arkhamverse. Boom, done. You don't even
Sure.
need that character. Like,
and like also in this universe, Red Hood shouldn't really have the grudge against Batman that he does because Joker actually did die. So he doesn't. So I don't really see the reason why he would. I don't know.
I mean,
like it's. I love that game. It is a little messy, especially since the climax of that game is just it's not a 1v1 versus Arkham Knight. He's like poaching up on gargoyles, sniping at you, and you have to go get him. And then if we get up there, he like goes away, and then you chase him again.
it's
and then
it's like an over dramatic stealth thing. Which
like,
don't get me wrong, I like when they try to make the boss fights different because just like kind of like how Spiderman made every boss fight the exact same, which was really annoying. But at the same time, it was kind of like it felt very much like a use the skills you've learned in this game to win, and it was like we've been doing Predator maps since Arkham Asylum 1 and 2. Like, don't we actually should be able to like fight him, not just
they could have done that, yeah, but actually have you fighting him and have him doing the same moves you are,
right?
Outmaneuver him,
right? I think that would have been kind of like in a way, kind of like the Mr. Freeze thing, not in the same way where he learns, but it's like you can't do certain things to him because he knows your tricks, so he can like counter your moves. So like he'll set a mine on a vantage point, knowing you're going. It's like I knew you'd be there, and then you like get hit or something. You know what I mean? Like that would be cool.
And after a while, after both of you have expended all of your resources, you both meet in the middle and basically have like the Deathstroke fight from Arkham Origins. Even if it is just like a quick time thing, like who cares? That was a cool boss fight. Like, you just have them actually fighting each other mano a mano. Like, it's so that choice was so weird. It's a great game, but Scarecrow could have carried the game by himself. He didn't even need Red Hood.
Nope.
At all. But they decided Red Hood, slightly different, but tried to say it was something else. But if you're whatever.
Yeah, no, I feel like the reason that game is given so much hate is because kind of self-inflicted by Rocksteady because of how they like presented it and like how it was marketed. Because the two biggest selling points of that game were a new character and the Batmobile, and both of those aspects were not
the best. Not the best.
So it's like, again, the combat in that game is exquisite. It is like you feel too powerful, but it's still so awesome. Like it's just so nice. There's extra things you can do that you can do in the other games. There's so much, and even like how you can use like the Batmobile assist takedown and stuff like that, and all these extra things, and that's really cool. But like, oh, really tedious Batmobile puzzles, and like the Cobra tank things where you have to like sneak. It's like stealth tank wars, which kind of makes no sense because like how stealthy can a tank really be? But
yeah, and you actually do fight Deathstroke in that game, but it's just a tank battle, and then you just take him down in a cutscene. Like,
it's not great, and just and then like the Arkham Knight kind of, again, if they had just made it Red Hood, I think that would have been way better because A, you don't lie to your fan base, and B, everyone likes
Red Hood. Just has Red Hood has such a cool design. Like there's that one Red Hood story mission. His costume is fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't dislike the Red Hood I don't dislike the Arkham Knight outfit, but like that Red Hood costume is really good.
It's really cool.
Haven't been wearing that the whole time, but
it was weird with the Arkham Knight with like had like the like Batman like ears kind of with his thing too, and it was kind of like, okay, what's going on here? But also, I could have, and I feel like, to answer your question earlier, it was like, oh well, he didn't, Joker's dead. Well, like, maybe he could be mad that like he replaced him so quickly with another Robin, and then like when Robin in the game was trying to get the cure, you could have the Arkham Knight like kidnap him or something, or do something like that, because I know Jason and Tim Drake have a lot of beef like in the comics with that. So like that could be a thing you could run with, or you don't even need that, or any other thing. I don't know.
Or oh my goodness, like especially since Joker is like inside your head that entire game. If Red Hood were the main villain, Joker could make several clips about the fact that like, he used to be Red Hood before he became the Joker. It's like looking into a mirror. Like he could. There's something they could do with. There's something they could do with that, because he's not actually Red Hood. They can't do it.
Right. It's just kind of
whatever.
And like. And it just feels like so unnecessary. It's just a really unnecessary thing, because it's like, I don't know why they felt the need to like deceive, because it's like your game was already gonna sell like crazy. I mean, your last game won Game of the Year, so it was like everyone was gonna buy the sequel anyway. So it was kind of like you didn't need to oversell it. Like you were good, just make another one. And I feel like they needed like, no, we needed more. And it's like, you had them. You didn't even need to do anything else. But like, they just kind of made the game, and then some really, really like short-change DLC. Like I've never seen such short DLC in my life. It is unreal. They're like 5 minutes of gameplay, and it's like, really? That's it? But
oh well, it's fine, because Gotham Knights is not made by Rocksteady. It's made by these other people who made a game that people don't necessarily think is the best Batman game anyway, but this game looks very good. So all that to say, our Gotham Knights
there it is.
Does look very good. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about it? I know I probably went like a huge tangent about
I like that, because again, I have things to say also, and I appreciate that you like. I just like that when we just like you hit a landmine. Here we go, like random encounters. Oh, here we go. No, I think that's part of just what makes our stuff great.
Okay. So my number 7 is one that is probably too low on this list, but that's just the year we're having. Any other year, this show should be number like 3 or higher, but it has to be number 7. Like all these things above it are just too personal to me that I can't. Weirdly enough, considering what show this is, number 7 is the Obi-Wan show.
Really? Okay.
It's going to. So obviously I'm super excited for the Batman and for Moon Knight, but like there is a sizable gap between Moon Knight and everything else on this list. Everything else is very, very close together. So just keep that in mind when I say that I am stupid excited for Obi-Wan. This is a show we have been wanting ever since ever since episode 3 ended, and we were like, hey, we want more of this guy just doing stuff between episode 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And now that Ewan McGregor is a little older, it actually fits that he would play an older Obi-Wan, just in on Tatooine. And we know Hayden Christensen coming back in, at least in some capacity. Cody is rumored to be one of the villains, which is perfect.
Hunting them down, and like after all these years, bro, that's so crazy.
I have a feeling it's much higher on your list, so I don't want to go into it too much right
it's
now.
Okay.
But
it's okay.
It's going to be very good. Like I said, everything from 7 up is super, super close. But I just couldn't put it above anything else, unfortunately. But I am very, very excited for it. It's more Star Wars content in general, because I like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor was definitely the best part of the original trilogy. Of the prequel trilogy. And just more of him, potentially redeeming Hayden Christensen under new direction, under new circumstances, could be very fun to see. Potential flashbacks to Clone Wars era stuff. Yes. Sounds like a blast.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Sorry.
There's just so much potential with this show to be awesome that I'm excited.
Yeah, and again, I think especially with now that Clone Wars has happened and it was as big as it was, and then we've seen an idea of the post Revenge of the Sith world with Bad Batch, and we kind of know how things are going, with Rebel. So it's this is we kind of know the area around where this is supposed to take place. We're not exactly sure how this is gonna go, but it's we kind of have more of a setting. We're okay, this has happened. We know this has happened. We don't know this is going to happen, but we don't know if it's happened yet, etc. And it's okay, we drop Obi-Wan. Maybe he's found Tatooine. Maybe he's around the galaxy and comes back to Tatooine. We don't know. All we know is that he's out there doing something. He's a Jedi, but can't really be a Jedi anymore because not really the move anymore. So we gotta see what he's doing. Yeah. And again, Inquisitors might come to hunt him down. Darth Vader might come to hunt him down himself. We don't know. He's got the amount of potential hype is very high. Now, will it meet the hype? Probably, but
we'll see.
We'll see. But who knows? I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's kind of saying. And it's it's really exciting because it's man, this is like you said, we've been talking about an Obi-Wan. I mean, because first it was the Kenobi movie. First we thought it was a movie. And, with the rise of shows and streaming and all this stuff, it's what's better than just one movie? A show with multiple movie quality episodes, with the likes of Mandalorian, and now Book of Boba Fett, and now this Kenobi show, which is we got Ewan McGregor back. That it has every potential to be amazing. And it hopefully will be, because please do.
Yep. We don't know exactly when it's coming out this year. It was coming out some point this year, probably after Andor is over. So probably well into the second half of this year. But hey, that's fine. When it comes, gonna watch it, gonna love it. So yeah. Number 6.
Okay, so my number 6. This was a little tricky just because there has been some movement and not officially, but I know Invincible is supposed to have a season this year. When, we don't know anymore because things have been moved, schedules have changed, etc. But it is assumed at some point in the next 360
ish
1 days. Now,
yeah.
season 2 will be at least started on Amazon Prime, and I need that because it was really, really good. And like, this was a show that virtually kind of came out of nowhere. I remember seeing clips for it for season 1, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. He's like kind of like the Superman, but it's like it almost gave me like a, Superman training Jonathan Kent kind of vibe, except he's a little bit older. But like, okay, cool. Now, did I know what it was going to turn into? Oh, I'm not at all.
Nope.
I mean, I was not. I thought I was just going to watch another animated off-brand superhero show. I got superhero anime level like intensity.
I went to bed last night thinking about Battle Beast and just how cool it is. The concept of this, like, any other superhero medium, a character like Battle Beast would be like, like end of show arc level powerful antagonist. He shows up in like the 4th episode and just whops the floor.
No, it's he just there's no introduction. There's no like, this is Battle Beast. He's the great. He's just one of the goons.
It would be like if Batman went to go confront the Penguin, and Penguin's like, "Aha, is the trap?" And then Penguin is like, I got some friends for you, and like, Deadshot, maybe Killer Croc, Executioner, just these, random like people he deals with every day. And then Lobo is also there, just randomly.
You're like, whoa.
Hang on. A bit overkill, Penguin.
Wait a minute. And it's funny because like Penguin thinks he's in charge.
Like this guy is a problem for Superman, just here.
No, he just kind of, and like it was so casual because like you didn't notice it at first. They were all kind of just going at it. Okay, they got their villains, we got our heroes, and then the fight goes on. Some of them, the heroes start to beat some of the villains. Some of the villains get beat up, and then okay, the big one's left, take them down, and then okay, man, this big one's pretty good, and then oh my god. He killed Monster. Oh my god, he killed another one. Oh my, he's gonna kill like 3 of them. I mean, he just like this show, more than anything I have ever seen, diverts expectations in every way possible. And again, in the same way, here you have this character who, by no means, by anything you would have known, should not be that crazy. Yeah, he looks big, but it's like, okay, like this man can bench press a mountain. So like, you're probably, he's gonna be big, sure, but like, I'm not worried. And then he just destroys everyone. And then the heroes do the whole, oh, we won't let you get away with this, like anime angry come together. And they
twice.
Still get mocked.
No.
I don't care. I don't care how many inspirational speak, like nothing. It doesn't matter. They just get destroyed. And it's just like, okay, that was it. Like that was supposed to be the moment. And like they don't even beat him. He just leaves.
Like
so
this fight bores me and just leaves.
Yeah, like he's upset that he had to mop the floor with them and didn't have a challenge, and he just leaves. And you're like, that guy's still out there. He's just this absolute monster. Is just kind of like, y'all ain't that great. And again, that was just one episode.
Like we know that there's going to be more Viltrumites coming down. There's going to be other crazy things coming, but like at some point in season 2 or 3 or later, who knows, we're going to get that rematch between Invincible and Battle Beast. It's going to be good.
Just imagine if like, the Viltrum, like the Omni-Man comes back, maybe has some more Viltrumites with him to reclaim the Earth or something. And, there's this big fight for the Earth and the heroes are ready and all. And then mid-fight, Battle Beast just shows up and just claps everyone. And it doesn't, like, I don't care whose side you're on, you're just getting clapped. Like, it doesn't matter, you're going to sleep.
That'd be cool.
And I think I love that that's a possibility. Like, he can just come back at any point and just like, hey, I'm gonna beat you guys up now. There's nothing you can do about it. And I think that was a big thing I loved about the show. It was, this show did not, everything was earned for Mark in this show. Like, he got destroyed every episode. I think he lost a tooth every episode, legitimately.
Yeah.
Like, except maybe the first one. I think the first one's the only one he doesn't get like extremely beat up. He gets kind of beat up, but he doesn't get like,
maybe the one where he went to Mars. He at least got away before anything happened to him. But
yeah,
like, he didn't win either.
No, he did not win. He escaped. Well, not really, because I mean, the Martians still got taken over by whatever those Starro things were. So that's gonna come back, obviously. But like, yeah, it's like he pretty much got his butt handed to him every chance he got, more or less. Which is kind of great because A, it's a great like irony for his name. B, it makes for good storytelling because this character just became a superhero like a month ago. So it makes sense that he gets mopped the floor with pretty often if he is the strongest dude in the room. And, you know, when he does finally get to that point where he wins more battles than he loses, it'll feel so earned that I'm going to love it. But yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, literally the only reason Invincible Season 2 isn't on my list is because we don't know it has a confirmed release date. We know it should happen sometime this year. We know they are working on it in some capacity, but there's no like 2022 confirmation. So it's in my honorable mentions, but I wasn't.
That's fair. Yeah,
confident enough to put it.
Yeah, I was skeptical too because I was like, but I was like, because there were rumors that was supposed to come out this month originally. So like,
no, I doubt that
obviously, obviously that was months ago. So obviously now it's been thrown way back. But I mean,
yeah, apparently the voice actor for Mark said in an interview recently that like the team is like that he said that he hasn't started recording lines yet. That doesn't mean that they haven't like started like animating or you know, they haven't like started production on it, but he hasn't actually started recording yet, which is usually like one of the last things they do for an animated show anyway, so not a big deal. But you know, it might not be soon. It might be like, you know, kind of like second half, so even like last quarter of the year, which will be fine.
I'm thinking like September right now. So because again, it is and that's the thing, it is animated, so you know, it's not like you have to go in and like, you know, reshoot. It's just, hey, here are your lines, like, you know, get them together, you know what I mean? And yeah, they've got a lot of big name people too, so like they're obviously gonna be busy. I mean, JK just finished up Spider-Man. Well, he didn't just finish it, but you know what I mean. Like, he's doing stuff.
Yeah, he's one of those actors that like, it seems like every other day I see a trailer, he's randomly in the cast. Like, you're in everything. Like, not complaining, but you're in everything.
That's kind of how Tom Holland is starting to be too. Like, because we were like, when we were in the movie, it was like, you know, that Uncharted thing came up, and it was like, oh yeah, aren't we here for another Tom Holland? Yeah, and I'm like, I know there's a lot of people. Chris Pratt's like that too now.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac too, but not
yeah.
He's doing this. Yeah,
that's right. I forgot. Again, the next one will probably be a lot better than this one, but this one wasn't bad. It was just a lot setting up. But anyway, that's Invincible. It is great superhero animation, and even though it's not DC, it's not Marvel, it's awesome. So I'm for
good enough that Amazon went in and confirmed 2 more seasons before the first season was even done. So they were
that's what I'm saying.
That confident, like, yes.
You know it's good when they give you season 2 and 3 without question. That's pretty solid.
Yep. My number 6 is also a new season of a superhero show, kind of. Harley Quinn season 3.
Ooh,
This was actually my number 3 last year when we still thought it was coming out in 21, but it obviously
right.
didn't. Harley Quinn is just it. I've never gone from being unhyped to being this is one of the greatest was ever made. Like that, like after the first episode, like, okay, I get it. I was going in, I was like, why is this even getting made? We're getting so much Harley Quinn content right now. Not that I don't understand the appeal of the character, but like I just didn't see the need for this right now, but like instantly sold me.
It's great.
Yeah. Like they could do literally anything and it would be the greatest thing ever. Like I know they had like a little teaser thing at a DC fandom. It was even that little teaser was hilarious. It was just like a bunch of like very early sketches that would be like voiced over by the cast. It was great.
I just know how the show is made is just, again, diverted my expectations because, like you said, there was a lot of Harley Quinn going on because there was Suicide Squad coming, there was that Harley Quinn movie. There's all the stuff going on right now, and it's just kind of like, all right, we get it. Harley Quinn's a great character, but also chill. But then the show comes out, and it's a bop, like off the bat, and it's like this show is really funny, and the humor's like actually makes your sides hurt, and like it's unlike any DC show. It's just weird, but it's like it doesn't care. Like it's just doing its thing. It's just kind of doing its own thing, and it's really good at it. It's not trying to connect with anything. It's just these characters well enough, and the ones you won't know, you will know them later because they're also going to be great. And it's great, well done. I love me some Kite Man, and I feel for my boy because Kite Man did not deserve that. First of all, no, my Kite. Oh my gosh, Kite Man.
It's so interesting that like Kite Man has been the butt of any joke, has been the butt of every joke forever, like since his introduction, and like he is still a comic relief character in the show.
Yeah.
Yet he is still a really compelling and really cool character to watch. Like I don't know how the show balanced that so well, but like they did it and it's great.
Because it's weird because he's like lovable and he's like a lovable loser, but he's also kind of relatable. Like it's a really interesting mix. And I really like, because I think of the episode where like they go to dinner with his parents, him and Ivy, and it's like it's so funny how his parents are just like the worst. And it's just like I feel like that, like everyone's been there, where it's like you've either been that person, that's your parents, or you've been with that person, you've seen their it's terrible. But like, no, and like they do a great job of having the characters work off of each other really well. Harley and Ivy do a really good job because Ivy's kind of just like, forget everybody, let's just do our thing, be smart. And then Harley's like, no, we gotta do this. Come on, it'll be great. And then like you have some of the goons are like, yeah, no, let's do it. And some are like, no, this is stupid. But it's like it feels...
King Shark again, fantastic.
No, the voice acting so good. So it's too good. It's funny. It's freaking Bane, man. Just too good.
Yeah. It's coming out some point this year on HBO. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
We will be watching.
Yeah, number 5.
Top 5. Here we go. All right, time for the big swings. We're going Thor, Love and Thunder, number 5. Yeah, this is. We're excited. I know you're excited. I'm excited. We're all excited. It's gonna be awesome. It's another Thor movie. Thor, it has been great and everything lately. They are bringing things back. Like it's, we know so much and yet so little, but like we know enough to be hyped.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
Taika Waititi making another Thor movie. all the concept art, all the casting choices, everything we've seen from this movie so far, from like set photos and everything, just looks like it's gonna be just a good movie.
It solid.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, the fact that Thor did get a fourth movie, like I don't think would have even come close to happening if Thor like Ragnarok wasn't nearly as well received as it was. Like
No.
yeah.
I mean, like, can you imagine saying after Thor the Dark World, yeah, we're gonna make 2 more of these?
No. Yeah, like it's coming out in July, same month as Black Adam's. So sorry, Black Adam. Like I'm sure you're gonna be at least decent too, but if I'm only gonna watch one strong lightning-based superpowered person, I'm gonna watch Thor.
Again, proven commodity.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah. Jane Foster, Lady Thor, also being in there is gonna be cool.
Yep.
More Valkyrie.
Yeah, Tessa Thompson, yeah.
With Christian Bale being the main villain. Sure.
Yep. Why not?
Yeah. 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 That's lower on my list, so we'll talk about it more later too. By number 5 is one that I was surprised was this high, low, depending on how you look at it on the list. But my number 5 is Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Okay.
So usually when we get to these kinds of videos, my number 1 is just the Pokemon thing this year, because we don't know what it is. We don't even have like a hint or rumor of what it might be. But because Pokemon is Pokemon, it's my favorite thing ever. But ironically, because I know what Legends Arceus is, and even though I am super excited for this game, the known quantity of it makes it a little lower. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Because you already know the ceiling theoretically. So that makes sense.
And I am stupid excited for this game. A more or less open world Pokemon game where like Pokemon are just around. You can either battle them and then catch, or just straight up like just throw the ball at them and hope it catches before even starting the fight. Pokemon can literally attack you. Like if you're not careful, they will attack you, and if you pass out, you go back to base. Like there's a whole like crafting economy. There's like a whole slew of NPCs that appear to be like ancestors of other major Pokemon characters of like a bunch of different regions. Like it's actually doing something super ambitious for the Pokemon franchise, which I love Pokemon, but like if you don't like the standard RPG format that the games have been doing since 1996, maybe you're looking for a change. And this is definitely assuming this is received well. I would definitely love to see more games like this in the future. I still want Game Freak to still at least periodically do the like basic gym style RPG that they have been doing forever. But if this is good, if this is what people are thinking it will be, if this is as good as we think it might be, carry some of the mechanics into future games, make it look like this in future games, expand on what Pokemon can be. And yeah, I'm excited. Another reason why it's not any higher is because it is coming out this month. So like I just feel like I can't, it wouldn't be fair to put something that I'm gonna play in like 2 weeks at the top of my list when there's stuff that's coming out, way down the line that like I have more time to be excited for, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, more Pokemon stuff is always good.
Yeah.
And this just looks like a good Pokemon thing. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Your number 4.
Number 4, I have Kenobi or Obi-Wan or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But yeah, because again, like we said, we've been waiting for this since 2005, more or less.
At least, yeah.
So let's go for it. We've all wanted this. He just wanted to do it. We've wanted, and like again, I realize there's never been a better time for something like this to happen because of what, not necessarily what the movies have done lately, but because of what shows have done lately. Whether it is Clone Wars or The Mandalorian or just Star Wars content outside of on the big screen lately. It's just been really, even video games have been pretty good lately. So like it's a good time for Star Wars properties that aren't movies right now. So obviously it's time to bring Obi-Wan back, like, and again with character, think about like how much bigger, like because in 2005 you think about how much has changed about what we know about Star Wars since then. I mean, just think about Darth Maul is back and is a huge character. But, in 2005, that was like not a thing.
He was dead. No.
Right, he was completely gone. Not even a chance he survived. No one knows anything about him. Now he's one of the most known, best characters in Star Wars. How much, we've had time to build up the nostalgia factor. So Hayden Christensen coming back doesn't feel like, oh, Hayden Christensen coming. It feels like, oh my gosh, Hayden Christensen's coming back. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this has just been aging like wine in the cellar for so long, and now it's just time. It's time to celebrate. So I'm really excited.
Yeah. Like I said, I feel bad that it's only my number 7, but like it is gonna be the very.
It's one of those solid years. Like,
yeah, it's gonna be a very solid Star Wars content. Like we're eating in general when it comes to Star Wars content. Like Book of Boba Fett's still going. We get that Andor show, which is gonna be a thing. Bad Batch season 2, and now Obi-Wan. Obviously, like as far as shows are concerned, we're getting a lot of good stuff this year. So, and this is looking like it's going to be the best of the Star Wars stuff we're going to get this year. So, yeah, I'm excited. My number 4 is Thor 4.
Yeah.
What else is there to say? Chris Hemsworth coming back. But Taika Waititi with all these fantastic characters that we've established in Thor Ragnarok, along with some of the, some characters from past Thor movies like Jane Foster, brand new characters, the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be in the release for a little bit. It's just going to be a fun, good movie.
Yeah. What more can you say? We're just excited. Everything's exciting. There's so much. And again, so much is always changing every time there's a show or a movie. There's so much different. Like how much is different now that Spider-Man No Way Home has come out? For the, how is this going to affect Thor? I don't know, but I'm really excited to find out. Like we'll see what happens. Guardians are around. Like there's a lot going on here, so I'm really excited just to see it.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all I have for Thor.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Top 3.
Okay. Top 3. Big stuff again. All right. So number 3. I know you've got yours on this too, but Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I've got number 3 because man, do he have his work cut out for him because the universe is broken. Yeah, again, we got to see for those of us who we got to see a little bit of the trailer early or teaser, whatever you call it, or at the end of Spider-Man, and it looks great. He's getting Wanda, obviously, is like coming back, and then what's like we got this like what's it? That's Strange Supreme, or is it just another Doctor Strange? Do we know? Let's find out. I want to know. I personally really want it to be Strange Supreme from What If because it makes What If so much better if it is. So because then theoretically nothing's off the table anymore, which means can like super
Captain
ultra
Carter get hurt, like become actual canon. Like,
yeah,
well,
I know. Or like, do we get super ultra anime Mega Vision coming into this universe? I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm scared if he is.
Hope not, but we could.
I mean, anything's possible. Anything's possible. I'm really excited.
Yeah, like I'm fully expecting there to be several Doctor Stranges in this movie, like at least 4 or 5, just somewhere in this movie.
One of them's an alligator.
Mm.
No, like that's so exciting. How just like, yeah, there's so. I mean, it's literally the multiverse. There is an infinite number of possible. I mean, we could get mutants in this movie. We could get anything. I don't know. Anything's possible. We don't know. I mean, everything that's happened with Doctor Strange, that's happened with Spider-Man recently, all of WandaVision, like all these things
Loki.
are playing. Loki, exact, all these things. And then who knows how that's gonna affect Ant-Man later, or like Loki season 2, whenever that's coming out, or all the like there's so much going on, and like how they're going to keep it all together, I have no idea, but you best believe at Friday we're going to be there. Like,
like I fully expect this movie to end with Wanda creating mutants somehow. Like,
oh yes, it has to.
Yeah, I don't think they'll act on that right away, but like instead of the House of M being no more mutants, essentially they'll flip with that and being like, more of me, please, or something like that, like more mutants, and then boom.
Yeah, something, somehow, some way, there's gonna be. I don't know if it's just gonna be Wanda's gonna say it and it's gonna happen, or something happens with just like a uncontrolled spell, or like who knows. But yeah, there's gonna be something. I don't think it's it's not gonna be I don't think how it is in the comics where it's just people are just born with these abilities. I think it's just gonna every so and so person, or maybe every you know what I mean? Because for a while it was like, every person in Westview might become a mutant or something, or it's like, and then they just travel the world or something, or but it's like, who knows here? And again, we don't know if maybe other people, maybe Agatha makes an appearance. Who knows? Like, I would be so for that, but again, anything's possible. But like, this is one of like, again, the hype for this movie is very high, but can it reach it? Yes. So we'll see.
Sam Raimi's directing it. I have a feeling this, and Danny Elfman's doing the score. We got Benedict Cumberbatch coming back. We got who knows what else. It's just Wong. It's gonna be like, come on, any movie with Wong, and it's
not just Wong. Sorcerer Supreme. Somehow.
So yeah, expectations are sky high. I have no doubt in my mind it's gonna at least meet them.
Oh yeah. Yep. It's gonna be amazing.
Yep. Yeah, my number 3 is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
They told us it is coming out this year. It needs to come out this year. When they announced it back in 2019, I thought, oh, that's cool. They're just using the same engine, same world as the last game. It'll essentially just be like a pseudo expansion type thing where it's like, new story but same basic world. So it won't take that long to make. They announced it E3 2019. It'll be out March 2020. Nope, I didn't see it again until last E3. We still haven't seen any more since, but they've said they still expect it to come out this year. We still don't even have an official name for it yet, but Breath of the Wild is one of the greatest games ever made.
Yep.
It redefined what Zelda is, what Zelda means. It basically pioneered like the idea that the Switch is a force to be reckoned with. Everything that we saw in the most recent Breath of the Wild 2 trailer just looks amazing. There's so many unanswered questions. There's so clearly it's taking this long because of COVID, but also clearly this game is way more ambitious than we originally thought it would be. just it's gonna be good. It's gonna be very good.
And
Yeah,
it just, again, when you come like this game, like this, again, the original game, is excellent. It's beautiful. The level designs on it, it's this just great, essentially perfect game. And the sequel, and a lot of times it's interesting because when you think about meeting high expectations with like a sequel or something like that, a lot of times, it's more like you think, oh, why, you're gonna potentially make it worse, not better. But like, I have no doubt it's gonna be better. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't, like, there's no reason for regression here. It's just like, do it again, but also here,
yeah.
like
there's like two things I can nitpick about Breath of the Wild that even I don't really have problems with, but I could understand other people having issues with. If they just like have a way where you can craft or sharpen weapons you already have or something, that's literally 80% of the complaints people have is that weapons break too easily.
Yeah,
Either
which is
tweak that, like most people won't have anything to complain about. Like, so yeah, like, not even if they don't fix that, still gonna be a really good game.
Yeah. And I mean, in this thing, I'm like, I gotta hurry up and get the first one before the second one comes out, so I can be also as hyped up for the second one as I am more than I am, because I don't understand the hype fully. I'm not in it, but I want to learn. Oh
yeah,
my
like, I'm excited. Okay.
Yeah.
Top 2, go.
Okay, top 2. Okay. This one's a big one. I think this is your number 1, but Across the Spider-Verse is my number 2.
Whoa, what's your number 1?
You'll understand.
Okay.
You'll understand when I get there. You'll understand. Okay. But again, there is an astronomical level of hype for this. Like, this is gonna be probably one of the best movies I've ever seen. Like, yeah. I know you're judging me, but you'll get it.
No, I'm not. I'm agreeing with everything you're saying. Just like with Breath of the Wild 2, it is the sequel to one of the greatest in its medium
things ever
it
made.
Deserves
it's
excitement.
So great, and I'm so excited because at this, I'm like, how do you even I don't even know where to begin. Like, it's just, this movie is amazing. I think I saw that movie, not even kidding, like 7 times in theaters, like between real theaters and after school theater. I think it was legitimately 7 times, like, and not a single regret, because every time I found something that I didn't realize, like, how when the window's about to shatter and it says "look out" when his spiders come out, or like, or see that, or like, you notice, like, there's so many details. You even watch the YouTube videos with like the everything you missed about Into the Spider-Verse. They're like 30 minutes long, and then there's still stuff they didn't get because it's just that and again, this movie could just be details and it would be great, but no, it's actually a great movie. There's story, there's life lessons, there's so much into it. They're doing the multiverse, they're doing all of these things. The music,
Oscar Isaac's in it again.
That was good. You threw that in there. That was good. Like, you're right. But no, I mean, no, they got John Mulaney. They got, like, you know what I mean? Like, just throw it, like, the fact that Kingpin is the size of the screen, but also has a face, is hilarious. Like, the memes from this, there are so many memes out of this. Just every, like, other scene, there's something funny. Like, there's no way it's that easy. I can't believe it was that easy.
And the score is like one of the best movie soundtracks of all time. Like, it is. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and like, I love how every time a character's introduced, they get their own like intro kind of thing. Like, I am the one and only Spider-Man, and they have this and that and that and that. Something horrible happens, and this and that and that, and now I'm here, and like all this stuff, and like there's so much good. The colors. I am colorblind, and I am visually stunned by the colors. So that tells you all you need to know. So it's just there's so much. And again, part one.
What?
Part one. Minimum. 2 more. Minimum. There's at least 2 more. And again, we've got Spider-Man 2099 coming. We've got who knows? I mean, can you imagine like a symbiote in this universe? Like, like my mind is exploding as I'm thinking of things. This is like, oh, this is so great. And again, Spider-Man hype is, I believe, banging because there's like $1.5 billion going, or however many billion it's at right now for No Way Home. So that's going on, and then you've got. I mean, imagine it's like, like there's so much going on with that. And then again, I love the characters. Miles is a great character. I love his character. He's a kid, but like he responds to everything that I would expect someone. Like, you know what I mean? It's not one of those things where it's just kind of like I'm a superhero now. Like, I love the scene where like he's gonna try out web swing and like he goes to the top of it and he's like down the stairs. Because again, even if I 100% knew I had superpowers, there is no way I'm doing that.
No.
I don't care if I would believe you. I don't care. I can't. He's huge, but it's like, yeah, and there's so much with it, and the dynamic with like how he learns to be a better Spider-Man, but also he learns to be a better just person, and he recognizes that he doesn't know everything. And I think it's so important. Like the amount of you don't know everything in this movie is so important because he's young and you know what I mean? He thinks his dad is lame, his uncle's so cool. Turns out your uncle's actually a criminal. And guess what? He also gets killed by another criminal. So like, hey, maybe criminals aren't that great. And you don't know everything about somebody's life and why their relationship's like, why do you give my dad such a hard time? Because your dad's a good guy. Because he knows his brother's a horrible person, but it's still his brother, so he really wants it. And that's why he wants to protect you. And that's why he's always on your back all the time. Not because he's just like hard on you, but because he cares. Also, his dad reminds me of one of my friend's dad. That's really funny because he looks just like him. And it's really funny. Because he's also a large African American. And it's really funny. But anyway. Yeah, there's the trade. The little teaser we got was really cool for the half second we got, and I'm really excited to see Gwen and everybody all over again. And did Peter B. Parker get his life together and get MJ back and all that stuff? Maybe. I'm betting no, just because it'd be way funnier if he didn't. But I mean, can you imagine that? You're like, man, I wonder how he turns life around. He goes back and he's like in worse shape somehow.
No.
Can you imagine that? Like,
didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, no. Again, great things. And I know we'll talk about it more. I'm sorry, but yeah, all that to say, I'm excited. Your move, number 2.
My number 2 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. We pretty much said everything I have to say about it. Doctor Strange 1 is very good. Doctor Strange was good in No Way Home. The trailer we got at the end of No Way Home made that movie look phenomenal. Just the concept of Wanda and Doctor Strange messing with the multiverse, ideal. Like, just every piece, again, with Sam Raimi directing it, just all the pieces are coming together with this just being probably the best Marvel thing to happen this year. Like, sans Sony Spider-Man stuff, like MCU thing is definitely going to be the best MCU thing to come out this year, guaranteed. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that movie. It's gotta be really good.
Do you just want to talk about Spider-Man now since we've just talked about it, or what?
First I want to go over just some honorable
that's right,
mentions.
that's right.
I essentially made a top 20, so I'm just gonna go very fast. Like my Kirby and the Forgotten Land, the first ever 3D Kirby game.
Yeah.
I like Kirby games quite a bit. Miss Marvel show, those haven't really missed yet. She-Hulk, same thing. Peacemaker, I liked his character a lot in Suicide Squad, so yeah, him getting his own show, why not? Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom. Hopefully it's at least as good as Aquaman 1. It's kind of hard to be worse, like that movie's fine. The Flash, I have several questions, several things that I have doubts about, but it could surprise me. Who knows? I'm not excited really, but like I'm intrigued by it. Let's put it that way. Black Adam's kind of similar situation. I like Dwayne Johnson. This movie is probably going to be like impressive to watch, but I don't know how good it'll be. Knives Out 2.
Ooh.
Knives Out 1 is one of my favorite movies of all time. And it has a similarly insane cast. Catherine Hahn, Dave Bautista, Edward Norton. Like there's a lot of very strong, good actors in this movie, along with Daniel Craig. Like it's even close to as good as the first movie. It's gonna be fantastic. Mandalorian season 3 is one that it almost put it on my list, but I wasn't sure if it actually coming out this year since there hasn't been an official release date. And same situation with Invincible season 2. Almost made the list, but because it wasn't confirmed for this year, couldn't quite convince myself to put it on there. But those are both going to be very good when they come out.
That's fair.
Honorable mentions.
Yeah. Okay. So for my honorable mentions, I have the Zelda sequel 1, Bad Batch season 2, the Uncharted movie. I think that's a little interesting. I kind of like that idea because again, those are some really good games. Now and again, and I know that movies don't have a great reputation, especially when they're live action. But I think Tom Holland right now has a lot of pull in Hollywood as far as like they can make things done, and then I think it's gonna be inspired by, but I think it's gonna, because again, Uncharted's kind of like a video game movie anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't feel like it's as hard to sell as some other video games that they try to make movies out of. So I feel like that's gonna be one of the easier ones to hit the ground running. So I think that would be good. Speaking of video game movies, also Sonic 2. Because that's a little interesting. Knuckles coming in. It's why not? Like you said, Black Adam. I'm interested to see how that goes more, just because Dwayne Johnson's going to be in something that's not in a jungle for once. We'll see. That could still change potentially. And then again, the Marvel stuff: Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, all exciting. We'll see how that goes. And then I think, Andor, that was the other thing. I kind of put Andor on. I'm not gonna lie, Andor was kind of a pity ad. I'm not even gonna lie.
I agree. Yeah.
I
almost put it on there. I'm not actually excited.
No, I'm not, and I don't mean that in like a mean way. I just mean that in I forgot this was the character, and B,
like, I'm tempering expectations. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, like it's kind of one of those things where it's just like I didn't really. I'm not against it. I'm just not sold by any means. And that's not really the movie's fault. It's kind of just that's all I've got right now. But who knows? It could be really good.
Could be good. Yeah. My number 1 is in Across the Spider-Verse. I think the only thing left to really say is that like I screamed so loudly out of both shock and excitement when I saw that part 1.
I know.
The idea of, hey, this movie getting a sequel is already like, music to my ears, but seeing part 1 when that trailer didn't really show much of this movie, but like, I was so excited. Just the idea of getting at least 2 more of these is just
minimum.
man, man.
Sorry.
I again, another movie that I'm setting my expectations as high as they can possibly go, and I guarantee, unless something horrible happens, literally the only way I believe this movie can't meet those expectations if it just doesn't come out.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's my list. What is your number 1?
Moving out.
Okay, fair enough.
See.
Yeah. Last year was graduating college, so I don't blame you.
Right? Like whenever I do one of these lists, I always try to think of it as like, okay, don't get me wrong. I am beyond excited for everything, especially Across the Spider-Verse and Kenobi and all this. But dude, I'm moving out in like 3 weeks. You can't beat it. Like, yeah. I always try to put a life thing up here because it kind of reminds us, like, again, I know we love movies, we love comics, video games, all of it, but also, you know, we're human too. There are real world things that go on. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, like last year, graduating college, again, a huge moment because don't get me wrong, No Way Home was great too. Don't get me wrong, but you're not gonna, even I wouldn't be like, you know what, keep the diploma. I'm gonna go see No Way. You know what I mean? Like the same way. As much as I am so excited to be like part 1 of at least 2, and just but also, I mean, like, you know, it doesn't, like, anyone who has moved out knows this is like, you know what I mean? Like, it's time. Life's exciting.
Having your own space, your own little, like, your own room, your own, able to just do whatever you want.
Exactly. I mean, again, school is over. It's the next step. And I know it's kind of a cop-out, but at the same time, I mean, I'm probably going to do
something. It's a thing you're excited for. That's the point of these lists.
That's what I'm saying. I'm probably going to do one of these every year. So just be expecting something that you probably couldn't, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, like, you know, who wouldn't be excited? But yeah.
Right. Yeah, movies are great, but just, life steps like that are bigger deals in the grand scheme of things.
Indeed.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, clearly there is a ton of stuff to look forward to this year. Hopefully none of it gets delayed. Ideally, none of it gets delayed. The only thing that, like, I could see the most likely getting delayed is Black Panther. But like,
maybe
a lot of
Invincible.
this, maybe if
if it's not confirmed, that's right.
Yeah. But even if some stuff does get delayed or, pushed back or whatever, like, there's still a ton of stuff that can take its place that I can, easily fill out a second top 10 with. So like, it's gonna be a fun year.
It is going to be a great, again, last year, all things considered, especially with Spider-Man sneaking in there at the end of December, man, last year was amazing. But to think it's like last year was like an off year if you think about it. So it's like, man, this is gonna be a year. Oh man, 20 like this is gonna be a good year. I'm really excited and just can't wait.
I can't. I mean, one of the things on my list comes out this month,
right?
So
I should have kept a tally of everything when it's coming out, so I'd be like more excited where I can like list it in order based on what to be excited about first. But yeah, man, just
so yeah, I'm curious. What are you guys excited for? Is there anything that we left off our list that you think we're crazy for leaving out? Is there anything that you're more excited for that's on your list? Are you excited for the Batman? And can you please explain why you're that excited as you are?
Please explain. Again, not that we're like against it, but like, what is it specifically that makes this just the Batman movie? Like, I want to know because I don't know if I'm missing it or just okay. Because again, like, things are cool. I think it's awesome when like the guy, when it's like the fire coming and he's just coming back and he's like walking towards, like, I think that's awesome. Or the hallway scene's awesome. But I'm not like, this is the greatest Batman thing I've ever seen. Because I've seen a lot of Batman things, and I assume most of you have too. So like, that's the vast threshold there.
But yeah, not knocking anyone's enjoyment or excitement for anything, but like, if you like I said, if you're excited for anything that we didn't list, please let us know down below. There's hundreds and hundreds of movies and shows and games and stuff that we maybe even haven't heard of that we should be excited for. Like, I'm curious what you all are excited for. But yeah, it's gonna be a great year. It's gonna be it's gonna be good. So until next time, we'll see you all later.
Take care, everybody.